All I would ask is for people to be ambitious. That's a quote from David Braben in reference to space games, specifically Elite and Starfield, but it applies right across the board, doesn't it? Star Citizen then is nothing if not ambitious, especially when it comes to its world generation technology. One of the new upcoming additions then are rivers. These will be making an appearance in patch 3.17. Of course, rivers are a great feature, but they're also, according to CIG, the start of a long chain of events that will lead to roads, lava flows and many other things. Now, I mentioned ambition right at the start of the video because I feel ambition is what should be driving the whole space game genre forward. There's very few games out there, very few companies out there that are pushing a planetary tech forward. For now, that torch is being carried by Asobo and Microsoft Flight Simulator, along with CIG and Star Citizen. Elite Dangerous, of course, is making a somewhat brave attempt, but in my opinion at least, they are lagging way behind. It's also worth keeping Unreal Engine 5 in mind, as this could well be a game changer if and when a space game actually takes advantage of that engine. And yeah, I'm fully aware that there are some rumours that just maybe CIG and Star Citizen would make an engine swap to Unreal Engine 5. Seems somewhat unlikely at this point though, but you know, given the history and development of that game, you never really know, do you? So Star Citizen's Alpha Patch 3.17 is due to release any time now onto the test server, I do believe, and it will feature, as mentioned, rivers. Right now, there's going to be no way of actually locating the rivers. They won't have any mission markers, they won't have any gameplay associated with them. But that's not just a problem limited to rivers, but also other areas of the game as well. Limited gameplay aside then, what I want to talk about is what lifts the game world up in my eyes. And that is the aforementioned ambition, the grand scale of things, the attention to detail. When you see clips like this and you really get a sense and a feel for the type of worlds, the type of planets that CIG are building, it really is hard to not be impressed. Of course, naturally, space games should be about space, but when you really think about it, all the massive sci-fi titles out there, the grand sci-fi titles of history, really have worlds as their focus, whether it's Tatooine from Star Wars, Arrakis from Dune, LV-426 in Aliens, or indeed the multitude of worlds of the Imperium of Man in Warhammer 40k. From that perspective then, I really feel that the last decade of space games, if nothing else, has shown that, for the most part, worlds, planets, should be, and indeed can be, a central focus for them. So what point am I making here? And yeah, I think I am making a point, and that is I feel the planets can be equally as important, or at least nearly as equally important, as spaceships. At least that's what I think. You may think something completely different, so if you do let me know in the comments section below. And again, if you agree with me or if you disagree, both are fine, but I'd love to hear from you. Now, CIG clearly do feel that planets are very important, hence the fact they are paying so much attention to detail here. As you can see, patch 3.17 will introduce caustics, and as it says on the screen, they are patterns of light that occur when light is reflected or reflected from a surface such as water. So in the end, whilst gameplay is still very high up on the list of things that are very much needed for Star Citizen, these additional fine touches along the way are certainly making things look a little bit prettier at the very least. Meanwhile, something that just might plug into gameplay is the ability to collect new resources that can be found around river coasts and river shorelines. Additionally, in 3.17, players will at last be able to enter water, and here in this footage at least there's a distinct lack of swimming animations. I assume though those will make it into the final release. At least, meanwhile, CIG are willing to show a work in progress. At any rate, this video is less about the overall contents of patch 3.17 and more about the ever-evolving worlds of Star Citizen. Now, what comes next after Rivers? Well, unfortunately, there's no real way to tell what's next, as the current roadmap doesn't project that far into the future any longer. But in terms of the far future that as yet has no release date whatsoever, well, there's a whole bunch of new surfaces coming to the new planets of Pyro. This will also include new types of clouds, as well as other types of weather conditions. How long any of this takes to arrive though is anyone's guess. As far as we know at the moment, the new planets of Pyro, the new star system, is awaiting on server meshing, a current tech that is still in development and doesn't have a specific release date just yet. For now then, if nothing else, these planets are worth keeping an eye on. In my opinion at least, they represent an ambitious future for planetary tech and space games. Do let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section below. What do you feel about all of this and where the future of this type of tech is heading? As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time.